On a recent train trip across the American Midwest, I became reacquainted with the Hannah Kroger natural health food store in Boulder, Colorado, and I was introduced to motivational speaker Brene Brown. In the talk I heard by Brene, she cited Theodore Roosevelt and his famous Man in the Arena speech, and she reminded us that for every one person who actually stands up and takes the chance of making themselves vulnerable and courageous by being a leader, for every one person there's probably at least 100,000 people who are simply just sitting by the wayside, watching all the events unfold, and offering all the criticism they can dole out. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week on Conservative Coffee Hour we gather and talk about issues which actually mean something in people's lives, and we continue to dissect and discern the political mess we seem to be in this country. Recently I was talking to one of our participants, and she said she had been at a Republican rally recently for candidates, and she was so struck by how many rhinos there are in the Republican Party. And she said so fewer are standing up and actually showing support for President Trump, and instead shifting gears and moving their support to Mr. DeSantis of Florida. And I think we all need to take a step back and think about who are our leaders and where are the leaders and why is it we have so few people to rally around. And if we're caught up in the process of shooting our own leadership down in favor of second-tier people who, once they rise to the top, will be shot down again. I'm always reminded of the Romney presidential campaign and the idea that Mr. Romney was probably the nicest person on the planet, but he was portrayed to be the devil incarnate. And if he had been elected, he would have been maligned just like all the other Republican candidates and office holders have been maligned and continue to be. They're doing a very good job. I was having a conversation last evening with someone who was asking me who I'd be voting for governor in the state of Illinois. Before I could answer, he went into a whole litany about how this farmer was the biggest fraud and shyster you could imagine, and how glorious and what a terrific leader Mr. Pritzker has been in this state. And he also shared that Mr. Pritzker apparently has been a donor in Mr. Bailey's campaign because he's almost certain that supporting Bailey as his rival is the surest way for himself to be reelected as the governor of the state. And I thought, again, it's really quite interesting when we think we're all fed a certain line of programming and information and intel, and how does that play out? Are we really discerning from the facts and information, or are we simply being programmed for a certain outcome? I think in this particularly troubling and challenging time, we all need to do a little soul searching and think about, are we supporting the man in the arena, the person who's actually stepping up and taking a chance, or are we being played to support the status quo and the establishment? On a recent Facebook post, one of the comments mentioned the film The Untouchables, and I think since we're in Chicago and we're in Illinois, that's something to revisit as well. The idea in any given time and space, if you're in a corrupt system, a completely corrupt system, you need somebody who is untouchable. And if you look across the political landscape and you consider Mr. Trump, again, people on the left think he is the devil incarnate and the embodiment of corruption, but in the bigger picture, he's somebody who is essentially untouchable. And he's not been touched, he's not been bought out, he's not been compromised. He's somebody who's operating as an outsider to the establishment. Also, on our previous call, we had Mickey Witoff, who is the mother of Ashley Babbitt, and I think on the call all of us were struck by the fact that she is tragic and a significant loss she suffered. She's a very dispassionate and even, calm, loving person, discerning the way forward. She also shared a comment that she's found that when she is angry or lashes out, she misses things and is not open and available to see important facts and evidence which might be useful. something we all, again, need to be mindful of. It's easy to go off the handle and feel very passionate and strongly and angry even about different topics, but in that we can miss valuable information, nuance, and things that will actually help us move our own narrative forward. If you would like to join us on Conservative Coffee Hour, Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.